Good morning. I'm meteorologist and science teacher Ryan Miller. This is a cloudy day around the region here, at least in Washington, D.C., in the D.C. area, but it's a nice day to keep that learning process going. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are here as a service to you to try and keep that learning process going. We are trying to give you some activities that can be done at home while we're all away from the classroom, and the activities we're trying to do can help to encourage STEM, science and technology, engineering and math, literature, English, anything, including the arts as well, and beyond. We're going to go over lots of things here through the next bit of time, but before we even get into some of the activities, it's Spelling Week here on Outside the Classroom. It's also the theme being changed for the week here. We're trying to change, at least I'm trying to change, some of the spelling errors that I constantly make, and we have some spelling words, the words of the day. We're going to show you those words right now. They are up and running on chalk on my driveway, and please share and show us your photos spelling these words out, practicing with these words. These words are going to play a role here with some of the things we're going to look at today during the show. We've got temperature as one of the words. We have phase as one of the words. And one of the other words that we're going to be working with is germination, the idea of germination and growth. These are the words of the day. Please do exactly what I did. Write them out on chalk, put them on paper, make a video, surprise someone. See if you're a kid and watching, ask your parents to spell these words and see if they can spell them for you. And if you would like to share that, that'd be great. We don't want to embarrass anyone either, though. We've had really good feedback from folks that have been watching the show and sending us some photographs. Let's get right to it and look at some of these photographs. You can send us things by going to WJLA.com/chime in. That section of our website is the easiest way to share things with us, and we're going to get right to it here. We've got a photograph from Christiane showing us some of the things they've been checking out as they get outside a little bit to get some fresh air, and whether it's looking at the rivers and the Fredericksburg area that Christiane sent to us, or in fact the idea of doing some of the experiments that we've done at home. Christiane, thank you so much for sharing those photos with us. And Stephanie sent a photograph of Alexa doing some baking here. Alexa from Chevy Chase. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Alexa, for watching the show, and keep sending us some of those pictures and photographs. I'll tell you what, that's a perfect example, making a cake that does show us how things change when you take some flour, sugar, and all the other things that go into a cake, and separately, they're not really good to eat. I wouldn't want to eat a spoonful of flour. Nevertheless, put it together, it changes into a beautiful and delicious looking cake. Thank you, Alexa. And from the Outside the Classroom chime in, we have a video here of Shalise, and Shalise is going to be graduating very soon from Frederick High School, I believe, up in Frederick. Shalise, thank you for sending us that photograph. Bethany sent us a picture of Ayana, excuse me if I mispronounced your name, Ayana. She'll be a graduate here very soon from the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. Congratulations to you. Erica Washington also was kind enough to share us a photograph of her son, Byron. Byron will be a 2020 graduate here of Osborne High School in Manassas, Virginia. Thank you so much, Erica, and best of luck to you, Byron. Those are some of the recent additions to our Chime In gallery here at WJLA.com. Easiest way to get in touch with us, and please, we love hearing from you. That's the best part of the day for me, is seeing the new photographs come in and seeing all the videos come in, and thank you for those inputs. Now, we have been measuring and collecting and keeping data, and I would like to share and show with you a couple of things here. Julia from Arlington, she took some of the lessons that we did from a few weeks ago, and some of those lessons include building a rain gauge. You can check that out on our website, and using a ruler to measure how much rain we got yesterday. Here's a video and an update from Julia in Arlington.
Hi, Mr. Miller. This is my rain gauge chart, and yesterday I named it. It's called Rainfall, and I colored in when we got rain. So I colored in these graphs. I colored them blue because water is blue. And so on 3/26 we got 1/2. On 3/27 we got 0. On 3/28 we got 15/16. On 3/29 we got 0. On 3/30 we got
Finished.
0. On 3/31 we got 0. On 4/1 we got 9/16. And on 4/2 we got 0. And this is my rain gauge measurement sheet.
Julia, thank you for sharing that data with us. And folks, if you're watching us at home, please go to the WJLA.com website. And on the website, you have all of the activities, lessons, and templates that you can use to do the same thing that Julia did. And thanks to her parents, Jennifer and Jeff, for sending us that photograph or sending us that video. And please, there's another way that you can keep tabs on your weather data wherever it is you live and share your data with us. We've got great examples here on Outside the Classroom's website. Directions on how to map and share your data are right there. Click on that link and you'll be directed to a website that we can use to keep tabs on all the weather data that is being collected around the area. We've got easy to follow instructions using the arcgis.com website and ArcGIS ecosystem here. And these dots represent some of the data that's been collected by folks watching the show. Thank you. And sharing the data. And for example, yesterday, we had a couple of dots. This is from a gentleman named Tom. Thank you, Tom. Tom had 61 degrees here at 2 o'clock yesterday. That's down, it looks like, in Calvert County or close to St. Mary's County here. Thank you, Tom, for sending us in your data. I have another photograph here, or another example. This was some rain that I measured yesterday. I have at 5:45, I had 0.4 inches of rain in my homemade rain gauge, and I also took a picture and put the picture on here as well to show you that measurement. That's something that you can do, and that's an idea for you.
Hi Ryan, thank you so much for having me on the show, and thank you everyone for tuning in. My name is Karen Jones and I'm a change management expert with FMP Consulting. I help people and organizations understand and adapt to change, and today I'm here to talk about how you can use mindfulness to help you understand and adapt to changes in your world. Sometimes when we go through changes, we may feel anxious, afraid, sad, or lonely. These feelings are perfectly normal because you know what? Change is really hard, and when you start to feel that way, a mindfulness exercise can help. First, take a deep breath and remind yourself that this is temporary. Sometimes it's easy to forget that when we're going through these feelings. They're not going to last forever. Second, acknowledge your emotions. You can even say them out loud. We all go through these emotions from time to time, and just saying them sometimes helps us to feel better. The third thing that you can do is a mindfulness exercise. For 1 minute, repeat these words. May I be happy, may I be well, may I be filled with kindness and peace. You can also substitute you for I, and you can keep your eyes open or closed. This may feel a little bit strange at first, but the more you do it, the more you practice it, the better you feel, and it gets more natural and you feel more connected to others. Just like this. May I be happy, may I be well, may I be filled with kindness and peace. May you be happy, may you be well, may you be filled with kindness and peace. Mindfulness is a helpful exercise, and incorporating it into your daily life can reduce stress and improve mental and physical health. Have a mindful day.
And thank you to Karen and the folks at FMP Consulting for sharing that little exercise that we can all do here as we're dealing with change in our lives, change in our schedules, and change in everything. talking about some incredible changes. We're going to visit a very unique place right now in the northernmost parts of Russia into Siberia. This is the Earth. That dot represents a very unique place. It has the distinction of being the coldest inhabited place on the Earth, and they deal with change all the time. My friend and colleague, Rachel Kay, meteorologist Rachel Kay, has a story on the things that are happening in that little town, the coldest town in Siberia.
I'm Stormwatch 7 meteorologist Rachel Kay, and I'm bringing you lessons on weather around the world. Last time we talked about Death Valley and extreme heat, so I wanted to take a jump to the opposite side of things and talk about extreme cold. I hope I'm saying the name of this town right, Omyakin, in Siberia, Russia, and it is the record holder for the coldest inhabited place on Earth. The coldest temperatures ever recorded are in Antarctica, which is of course not habited, but this is a small town with just 500 people, a few hundred miles south of the Arctic Circle. Now, our meteorologist and teacher Ryan Miller is on the National Geographic Teacher Advisory Council, so I love using National Geographic as a reference for information. They have an article talking about what it's like to live there, that people eat reindeer and horse meat, they need fur to keep warm, and if the power station has no coal, they have to burn wood to keep hot water flowing to homes, or the pipes will freeze in just 5 hours.
You see, in villages like this, way out in the middle of nowhere, there are no dryers around, and no. So regardless of the season, everybody hangs their laundry out to dry, even when it's minus 50.
How does it dry at minus 50? It's just gone right. How do you wear this?
You'd think it'd just freeze and then bring it inside and it'd be wet again, but they say that you leave it out for 3 days approximately, and it's stiff, and then you bring it inside, it warms up, and it's slightly damp, but almost completely dry. And they say as fresh as can be, that nothing's fresher than frozen laundry. So.
The Guinness World Record for coldest temperature was recorded in 1993 of 90 degrees below zero. That's in Fahrenheit, and the average winter temperature there is about 50 degrees below zero. Now, this is what we consider a subarctic or even near a tundra climate. I've talked a few times in these segments about climate types, and I encourage you to look into the Köppen climate classification system on your own. It's based on temperature, precipitation, and vegetation type of an area. So again, this is subarctic, but they do reach 70s in July. You get a lot of fluctuations in the temperatures here because it's based on such a big landmass rather than more of an influence of the water or a large coast. But the forecast highs there for the short term are in the teens and 20s with lows in the single digits above and below zero. They've got snow in the forecast for most of the upcoming days for an inch or more. I think I'll stay here. A lot of struggles come with living in that cold of a climate. We'll have more information on learning outside of the classroom Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. with Ryan Miller.
Good morning, Washington. My name is Robin Davis from the family lifestyle blog MomTheMagnificent.com, and I'm here today with my beautiful daughter Olivia, and we're going to show you how you can blow up a balloon using baking soda and vinegar. So today we're doing an at-home experiment right here in our kitchen that you can easily do too with some kitchen supplies that you probably have lying around. So in order to do this experiment, you need vinegar, baking soda, an empty water bottle, measuring spoons, balloons, and a funnel. So the first step is filling your empty water bottle about halfway full with the vinegar, which we did already, and then taking your balloon and stretching it to fit the funnel. And then you want to add in the baking soda with the funnel to the balloon. This is about 1.5 teaspoons. Olivia gets to do this part. Dump it in, shake it down.
Here's the next
So
one.
again, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda into your balloon. The funnel just makes it a little easier. Then you're going to want to take your balloon and add it to the top of your water bottle, creating a nice tight seal. And now for the fun part. You're going to want to tip the balloon up. Go ahead, Olivia, and add the baking soda into the vinegar. Let's see what happens. Here we go. look at that. What's it doing?
Blowing up the balloon.
Blowing up the balloon. How cool is that? So as you can see, our chemical reaction blew this balloon up. How neat. So the science behind this is the baking soda acts as a base, the vinegar acts as the acid, and when they are mixed together, they create a gas called CO2. Now the CO2 wants so badly to escape, it has nowhere to go but up into the balloon, therefore blowing it up. How cool is that? It only takes a few simple supplies, a few minutes, and you can explore and create a chemical reaction right at your own kitchen table. So give it a try and let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.
Hi, Robin, and thank you for your video there, Robin. We do appreciate all of the suggestions, the activities, and as the theme of the show has changed this week, things that you can do at home that are simple and easy with just a few things from maybe the kitchen or any place where you can grab some of these items and do. If you're looking to use and do some of the things that we've done in the classroom or in this in the show here at home, you can go to Outside the Classroom's website. We've got videos up. We're also on the Stir app, S-T-I-R-R. If you download that free Stir app on your phone, you can watch all of the past videos and segments and shows for Outside the Classroom. We're talking change. And there is a big change that can occur when you look at the temperature inside of a city and the temperature surrounding the outside in the areas surrounding that city. That's called the urban heat island effect. We're going to show a little graphic here right now of the urban heat island effect. It's where the temperature and all the people and the built materials are all contributing to a higher urban temperature than the surrounding rural or suburban areas. The urban heat island is an example of change. If you're looking for an activity to do at home, there are lots of free resources here. We're going to put a great map up on the website that you can download from our website and then collect temperature data and see if you notice this phenomenon, this change in temperature in all of the areas surrounding a city and the temperature inside the city itself. You can use something called GIS, Geographic Information Systems, to make and map these changes. My good friend Eva Reed is going to show us some things about GIS.
Hi Ryan, hi everyone. My name is Eva and I'm a geographer and geographic information systems analyst in the DC metro area. As a geographer, I'm really interested in the patterns of things around me. And I use a computer at work to examine different kinds of data about things like roads, fire hydrants, business locations, and neighborhoods. I look at not only where these things are, but also how these things change over time. I analyze these data to answer questions like how traffic patterns change depending on the time of day, and maybe how many hair salons were in a particular area over the last 5 years. I also like looking at things like neighborhoods and how they've changed, either due to construction or other things that might affect the composition of the neighborhood. I use maps specifically to help answer questions like these. One of the things that I mentioned was that I enjoy looking at neighborhoods and seeing how they've changed over time. So with the GIS or geographic information software that I have, I can actually take 2 years worth of images. In this case, I have 2008 and 2019. And I can compare them to see what has changed in those 11 years. Right now we're looking at 2008, and if I use my swipe tool here, I can actually show you the difference between 2008 and 2019. 2019, 2008. You'll notice in 2008, there in the upper right-hand corner are a set of what appear to be school buses. In 2019, it looks like a park. In 2019, there's a large open space at the bottom middle of your screen. In 2008, it was a giant building with a parking lot. So let's take a look at another neighborhood. This time, let's look at Judiciary Square, also in DC. This is 2008. In 2008, the court area is under construction. In 2019, there's a whole new park with brick walkways, and it looks really different. 2008, 2019.
And that was Eva Reed. Thank you for that introduction to GIS, Geographic Information Systems. This is Outside the Classroom, and I'm Ryan Miller. We appreciate you tuning in. Check us out, WJLA.com. Search for Outside the Classroom. All of our resources there so that you can keep that learning process going when you're at home and we're away from school. Have a wonderful day and keep sending us information and let us know how we're doing. Good morning. This is Outside the Classroom, and I'm teacher and meteorologist Ryan Miller. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're here as a service to you. We would love to give you activities, lessons, things that you can do at home to keep that learning process going when we're away from school. So we're going to continue with that theme of change this week. We're looking at change in life, change in behavior, changes in science and mathematics and literature, art, anything related to the idea of change. We're also under Spelling Week here at Outside the Classroom. We have some spelling words and some homework for you to do at home. Please, these are our 3 words of the day. Spell these out, take a video of it. You can actually write these out on a piece of paper or anywhere and show us that you're practicing your spelling. Our words of the day, I wrote them on my driveway this morning. We have temperature. That is one of the words. We have precipitation as one of the words, or excuse me, germination as one of the words. I should remember that I wrote it. And the word phase, P-H-A-S-E, and those are our 3 words of the day. Please spell them, practice them, and we'd love to hear and see you doing that here on our website. You can go to WJLA.com, and the easiest way to share those images or those videos with us, you can go to WJLA.com, and there is a link right at the top of the page for something called Chime In. If you click on Chime In, that's going to give you the opportunity then to visit our little bubble that we created called Outside the Classroom. If you click on that, you can easily upload video, pictures, anything you'd like to share and show with us, even a question. If you have a question at home, we'd love to hear from you. Speaking of hearing from folks, we have a friend of ours joining us, Neymar in Lagos, Nigeria, checking in with us here on Facebook. We're streaming on Facebook Live. Neymar, thank you so much for watching us from Lagos in Nigeria. If you have a question, Neymar, send it our way. We'll try our best to help you out and answer some things. And we hope you're doing great down there in Nigeria. Now, we also have some other things to consider. We are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're at WJLA.com. And lastly, there is an app called Stir. And on the Stir app, you can go and search for Washington, D.C. You will easily find Outside the Classroom and all of our episodes, all of our segments, and the things that you can do that we've done in the past. You can go back and look at it and use it as a resource, and everything is up there. Search for Outside the Classroom on Stir. We're looking at change everywhere, and I have a very good friend of mine, a teaching colleague, Hiromi, sent us a video here and an activity related to art and how art and change can be combined. Hiromi, take it away.
Hi kids, today's topic is a change. Our lives change significantly. Many of us stay at home most of the time. You may be feeling a bit stuck or bored sometimes. I want you to become investigator today. Take time to look closer at sky, light, scenery from your windows, perhaps different times of the day. Find the change that you see. You will find everything and changing from moment to moment. When you bring out your curiosity and imagination, you will find the beauty around us and start to enjoy our lives a bit more. So I bring my curiosity and imagination and look at the scenery from my window upstairs. This is 6:30 a.m. and this is the 3 p.m. As you can see, this exactly same the scenery, but the color changed completely. And I become more curious and then ask myself, what happens if I just have the portion of the sky and different time and record it and see the change? So what I did was yesterday morning, 6:30 a.m., 3 p.m., 6:30 p.m., and 8:30 p.m. Yesterday was a gorgeous day, so I was able to see blue sky and some stars at night. I tried to do that the same thing today at 6:30 p.m. and 11 a.m. today. Today's a little bit more overcasted, so exactly the same spot of the sky, the colors are different. So I used the watercolor. As you can see, I mixed the color and then changed the color because my watercolor doesn't have the color exactly I want it. So you can do the same thing using a crayon or color pencils. For example, you have blue, and if you want to make it darker, you can mix with black. If you wanted to make lighter blue, you mix with white. If you don't have all colors, no worries, because you change the color mixing in different colors. For example, yellow and blue mix green, and red and blue mix purple. So my challenge to you today is the first, try to mix the color, change the color with using a 2 different color. So you can change the color. And second, I want you to be curious and imaginative to find the change inside the room or outside. Try to document and create the works of art that you like. So be imaginative, be creative, have fun with the topic of the change today.
Hiromi, thank you so much for that video. I have been walking around to get some exercise, and throughout my neighborhood, I have noticed, and also online, beautiful things showing up with sidewalk chalk all over the sidewalks where people are living. So please take and use some of the art tips that Hiromi had, or even grab some sidewalk chalk and head outside, take a picture of whatever it is you're able to create and put together and share it with us. We would love to hear from you. We're going to be looking at lots of things related to change. We're actually going to change scenes here in just a moment and head out to the front of my house because it's getting a little loud. There is lots of change happening behind me right now as a new house is being built, and we can hear the noises that are associated with changing and building a new home. So we're going to look at change in the environment outside, changes in the weather. I can see some blue sky that's headed our way. And blue sky means sunshine and a change in temperature. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to look at how you can measure change, map out that temperature all across the area, wherever you live, whether it's on the West Coast or on the East Coast, we're here. Speaking of change, we're going to look at a photograph that I took the other day. It's a beautiful spot here, a golf course close to my home. but I'm going to ask you, what do you see in this photograph that shows and indicates change? What do you see in this photo that shows change? And let us know. Interact with us on Facebook right now. What do you see? And that is all real grass, and those are trees. How do you see change in the photograph of this beautiful setting that I took a couple of days ago? Please let us know and get back to us, and we'd love to hear your thoughts.
All right, hello everybody, Audrey Dunham here. Today I'm accompanied by my little boys, Jack and James. We're playing that game where you stack your hands. We also have with us my lovely husband, Jeff Dunham, comedian and ventriloquist. He is our cameraman today. You should talk too.
Hi.
Yeah, and if you want to interject at any point, please do.
Okay, great.
So today I'm going to be showing you how to make 4-ingredient peanut butter cookies. And these cookies are incredible because they are so soft and delicious and made with ingredients you can feel good about. What's also nice is that they require 0 eggs, 0 baking soda, baking powder, and 0 all-purpose flour. So simple and so fun, and as you can tell, easy enough to do with your kids. First ingredient. Who wants to help me put the peanut butter in the bowl? You, okay, good. All right, so what we need to do, can you use a spoon and then dump it out into, go from the top. There you go, can you get the rest of it out? Keep going. So I have a creamy peanut butter here where the only ingredients are peanuts and a little bit of salt. And yes, you can use other nut butters if you like, or even sunflower seed butter. I haven't tried that, but I imagine it would work swimmingly if you want to avoid nuts altogether. I often like to use the nut butters that have the blends with the nuts and seeds, and that way you get the omega-3s from those seeds. Good job, Jack. All right, so we have about 3/4 cup of the nut butter in their bowl there. Next, I'm using chickpea flour, which can also be called garbanzo bean flour. What's this, guys?
Maple syrup. Maple syrup.
Do we use a lot of maple syrup in this house? Yeah. Help me pour it in there, bud.
Okay. Me too.
Okay, team effort.
Wow.
And finally, the 4th ingredient is salt. This one is actually optional. If you want to leave it out, you can. About 1/2 teaspoon. However, if you know that there is a good amount of salt added to the nut butter you're using, you're welcome to just leave it at 1/4 teaspoon, or like I said, leave it out entirely. Okay, that was 4 ingredients. Are you ready to stir?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Stir it.
All right. These are actually healthy enough to have for breakfast. So now we need to decide whether or not we can make this into dough balls. It's still a little bit runny, so I think that I'll add a little bit more of this garbanzo flour. Let's see how we're doing. You can find a printable version of this recipe on audreydunham.com or see my video on how to make it on my YouTube channel, which is also under Audrey Dunham.
I need a spoon to stir it too.
Oh, you know what? I think we're actually good on the stirring, bud. And this is what you want your dough to look like. So it's still looser, but it's not super sticky. Just like this. I usually make about 9 to 10. Hey, James, want to help me make these dough balls, bud? Come here.
How about me?
You want to help too? If you make 9 to 10 dough balls, they will bake for about 10 to 11 minutes. If you make them smaller, of course, you want to bake them for less time, or if you want to make them larger, bake them for a longer time.
Me too. Mom, look
All right, here you
at
go.
mine's. Mine's is in the middle.
Yeah, that one looks good. Now, the last thing we need to do is make those famous peanut butter crisscross marks. Whoop. And then like this, whoop. Pretty cool, right? Nice. Should we put these in the oven, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So just 10 to 11 minutes in a 350-degree oven. All right, we're back. Cookies have been out of the oven for a few minutes, and now we're finally going to try them. Are you excited, guys?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
which
yes,
one do you want, James?
You
want that one? Okay. Okay. Here we are, sir.
Do I get to try it too?
Yes, come over here, please.
Let's go this way. I'm gonna get one of mine and one for me here. I'm not normally a peanut butter cookie guy, but this is This is really, really good. Nicely done, sweetheart.
Thanks. And once again,
Really
you can
great.
find the full recipe for these 4-ingredient soft peanut butter cookies on audreydunham.com. All right.
And then if you want to laugh while you're making them, or while you're making them bake, go to jeffdunham.com.
Yes.
Go to my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Thanks for the help today, guys.
Yeah, good job,
Yeah,
guys.
great job.
Yay.
Audrey, Jeff, thank you for sharing that video with us here on Outside the Classroom. Those cookies really did look delicious. We'd love to get some of those at some point when we can be closer than 6 feet to you all. But thank you for sharing that video with us. Changes in the ingredients we use for cooking. And I have a question. If you could interact with us, my question is this: what's the most important thing that you need to change when you're cooking anything? Whether it's meat, whether it's a vegetable, whether it's something related to bread, what's the most important thing that you think needs to change when you're cooking something? And if you could let us know, we're on Facebook Live right now. We'd love to hear from you and the answers to that question. When I'm thinking about change and I'm thinking about cooking, certainly there are lots of things that need to change. You could think about potentially heat as an example. But except for heat, are there other things that need to change when you're cooking? So if I take an egg, for example, and this egg that I have right here, it's raw. Let's just confirm that. Yes, it's correct, not cooked. But when you add and change the temperature of the proteins in that egg, and from a scientific standpoint, that's called denaturing the protein, breaking those proteins down, you add heat to do that. Heat then transforms that and changes that egg into this product. And so heat is definitely one of the items that needs to change when you're cooking. But can you think of anything other than heat that needs to change when you are working in the kitchen and making cookies or making pizza or doing anything? Those are some questions we have for you, and please let us know if you have any answers. We're going to look at how you can measure change in your environment with respect to the change in seasons, and all of that coming up when Outside the Classroom returns. Hello there, I'm Ryan Miller, meteorologist and science teacher. This is Outside the Classroom. Thanks for watching us and tuning in. We're looking at change in all things life here. That's the theme of the week on Outside the Classroom. And here are some ideas for things that you can do at home to measure change in the environment very simply. You can use some of the resources that we're providing on our website, WJLA.com. If you go to the Outside the Classroom section of that website, you'll be able to download things like graph paper if you wanted to do some graphing. You could download ruler templates and protractor templates. Any tools that we use here to measure things on the show are easily obtainable here at WJLA.com. Here's a couple of things to think about. Many of the devices that we have and use to communicate with have built-in barometers. A barometer is a device that measures air pressure. And many phones and many devices have barometers built in because you can use air pressure to try and determine your elevation, the height that you are above sea level. So if you think about it for a moment, and if you change your elevation and you go to a higher elevation, what would happen to air pressure? Or if you go to a lower elevation, what would happen to air pressure? The barometer in your phone is a great way to try and figure out what your air pressure is. And the idea that I have for you at home is to pull up and access the barometer. There are lots of apps that you can buy that are free, or just obtain and download that are free. You don't have to buy them to get the information from the device, the barometer in your phone. Start tracking the air pressure that you have and measure the air pressure every day at the same time. Keep track of that data, and then also go back and look at what the weather was like when you measured the air pressure. So you're going to have one column that has air pressure on it, and one column that has the weather, and see if there are actual correlations that show up, relationships that show up between the air pressure and the weather. And you'll notice that there are changes in both of those, and that's an idea that you can do, and it will have a template online at WJLA.com that you can download and keep track of the air pressure and keep track of the weather that's occurring. Another idea, you can use the camera on your device, whatever that camera is. And the camera that's on your device, if you have one with a camera that is, you can actually measure the intensity of light when it's a sunny day. So here's an activity that you could do at home. You could find a tree that you really like, and we're in that season of change right now, being spring. And this tree that's in front of my house is starting to grow its leaves and to leaf out here. And you could measure the intensity of light as the tree undergoes change. So find a spot, and assuming it's a nice sunny day, you'll probably want to do this midday and get under the tree. When the sun's high in the sky, you can take and activate your light meter. And this phone, I just put a free light meter app on this device here. And if I access and get the app going, I can set it down, and it will start taking a reading of the intensity of the light that's coming through the tree. And obviously, as the tree changes and you start to see more leaves and the canopy gets thicker, you're going to see less light. But you can quantify that, you can measure it, and that's an idea for you to do at home. In fact, let's take a look. I have a graph that you could put together. We've got graph paper here to share and show with that. Just as an example, you can use light and the intensity of light on one axis, and then you can use the idea of your intensity and the date, and you can keep track of the changes in light in the trees near where you live. Welcome back outside to Outside the Classroom. I'm Ryan Miller. Thanks for tuning in. We have been trying to provide you with activities and lessons and things to do at home when we're away from school. We will continue to update the website, WJLA.com, the Outside the Classroom section, to provide you with all of the necessary tools that you could potentially print at home to keep measuring change wherever it is you are. Speaking of measuring, I just had and measured the air pressure, and I used the barometer on this device here to measure the air pressure at my house. It is 1010.20. And if you wanted to, we can get into the units later and scale this up a little bit as we start talking about the units of air pressure. But what's the air pressure where you live? You can share that information, that data, with us on an interactive map that we have on the website. Finally, we've got some words for you here. We have 3 words that are our spelling words of the day: phase, germination, and temperature. Phases are the steps that something undergoes during a change, like phases of the moon. Speaking of the moon, it's beautiful. Take a look at it here this evening if you have clear conditions. Germination is when a seed starts to turn into a plant and change into a plant. And temperature. Temperature changes all the time. And that temperature change can lead to lots of things happening in the environment. If you're inside and downtown in a city, you may have a higher temperature than if you were out on a farm away from the city. So start looking at the things that are around your house, around your home, and let us know. How can we help you? How can we be a service to you? And this is Outside the Classroom. I'm Ryan Miller. We thank you for watching. Check us out on the STIR app if you're away from your TV.